Hello guys, Fru here. Welcome to today's video, guys. So today's video is going to talk about something that I have personally never seen before, and this is something we're all facing: the coronavirus, guys. This is in the news from the north to the south, from east to west. Everybody's talking about, and everybody is getting affected by it. It's a very difficult time, to say the least. And as a tech professional, this is coming home. This is affecting a lot of us, right? Companies now are not only canceling games, canceling sporting events, restricting travel, but we're getting to the position where a lot of people are having to work from home for good reasons, right? So that we can hopefully contain this thing and be able to get through it all together. Now, that said, for some individuals, this might be the first time you are working from home, and this video is to provide five tips. I'm going to be providing us 5 tips here. If you're working from home for the first time, what are the things you can do to stay productive during this time? All right, for most people, they've never worked from home before. As you can notice, I'm actually recording this video from my home office. So this is part of the setup in my home office. This is where I'm recording this video, and I've been working from home for a while now, so I'm kind of used to it. But to be honest, and some of you might be panicking now, and you might not be sure, and you might be on the fence and saying, I really don't like this. I'd like to go back to the office. I miss my colleagues. I miss the social events. And this could be traumatic, to be honest. In addition to what we're already facing, having to go back to work from home and change your routine can just be so much change at the same time for a lot of us. And hopefully these 5 tips would help you. And this is not just tips I made up. These are tips because I have been doing this. I am literally recording this from my home office. I just turn on the camera and I can record this. So this is coming from pure experience. All right, because the very first few months when I started working from home, to be honest, it was a challenge. It was a challenge, and it could be a challenge if you don't understand how to balance this. But I think if you balance it, this could be one of the best times. This could be one of the best times that you can have as a tech professional. Now, the very first item on that list, the number one thing that working from home you have to ensure that you do is to maintain a routine. Now, for most of us, we already have routines in our life, right? You wake up in the morning, you maybe go to the gym or you go for a walk, you have breakfast, have your coffee, get into your car and drive over to the office, maybe chit chat with 1 or 2 colleagues, have your stand-up meetings, and then get to work. Now, well, you're not going to be able to do that if you're working from home, right? So how does that affect you? How do you respond to that? The way you respond to that is to still have a routine. Now, the routine might just be waking up from the room next door and going downstairs or going upstairs or just walking to the room nearby and turning on your PC and starting to work. Whatever that routine is, guys, you want to make sure that you come up with a routine and you try to stick with it. For me, one of my routines is I wake up in the morning, I sit on the bed a little bit, or I don't go anywhere first. I just sit on the bed or I go to the couch and I sit, no TV, no radio. I just kind of meditate and I write a blog post. I try to write the blog post on my Instagram. All right, my Instagram, I share it on Instagram, I share it on WhatsApp, and sometimes I share it on Twitter. All right, that gives me time to think about the day before I even start doing anything else related to work. Now, once I have that, I jump into the shower, I get out, and then I go have my hot tea. I don't drink coffee, so I drink tea, or I just drink water. I usually have a gallon of water with me. It's right over there. So that's what I drink. Okay, and then once I have that, I try to dress up. You see me from my home office like this. I'm dressed up like this, and part of the reason is I just came back from a customer meeting today. I don't usually have this very often, but I had a customer meeting today, and I just came back from that customer meeting. But most of the times, even if I'm just literally waking up, writing my blog post, showering, getting my tea, and then coming into my office here to start my work day, and I'm literally sitting in here by myself, I still do my best to dress up as if somebody knocks the door, they would think that I was at the office building somewhere. All right. And part of the reason for that is it puts me in a mindset of working. I know for some people, you don't need to do that. You might just have to be in your pajamas all day long, right? But for me, I like to get into that mindset because I know that once I put on my dress shirt or my dress pants and I'm seated on this chair and I'm looking at this, I am working for the company that's writing my paycheck. All right. So some days, yeah, I might wake up and maybe running late or something, and I just, come and do something with my pajamas on or with a t-shirt on. But I try to avoid that, because if you're doing it Monday to Friday, all right, Monday to Friday, January to December, sooner or later it's just gonna just mess you up a little bit from my perspective. So I prefer to dress up, and that's part of my routine. So make sure if this is the first time you're coming into working from home, if this is the first time you're coming from home and you've never done this before, just really make sure you focus on that routine. Get a routine down. It might take a couple of days for you to know what your routine is, but get that routine down and stick to it, right? If you prefer to wake up in the morning and then go get coffee somewhere at the Starbucks and then come back to your home office, and that's part of your routine, do it. If your routine might be get into your car and drive around the block and then come back to the house to make it feel like, just bear with me, to make it feel like you have done something for the day, guys, do it. But you need to get a routine, number one. Now, what is the next point? Number two, after you've gotten the routine, the next point is that when you work from home, sooner or later, you're just gonna feel like, there's no end, right? Because there's nobody supervising you. There's nobody looking over your shoulder. Like, I'm in this office by myself. I can put my music somewhere. I usually just have like a background music, like classical, Beethoven or Bach or something going on in the background. There's nobody supervising me. There's no supervisor like calling me or making sure I'm sitting on my desk. So you can get into that habit of just sitting here for 10 hours and nobody even notices it, and you forget that you have to take a break. So one of the things that I really suggest is make sure that even though you have that routine, put in breaks in there. So for example, if I have to start work from 9 to 5, I make sure from 9 by maybe 10 or so, or 10:30, I am just taking a break to stretch out. By 11 or noon, depending on what your schedule is, I'm going out for lunch. I'm going for lunch. My lunch could be just going out to the kitchen and sitting out there and eating, or taking it to the porch, depending on what the season is. Or I go, if I have to go out, get it from a restaurant, I go get it from the restaurant. But once in a while, right, and I beat myself on this, I might bring my lunch and sit here and eat and be, watching something or reading on something. But I try to avoid it. Guys, bear with me. The sun is coming out more than I expected. All right, so I'm going to have to close this. Just give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, I think we took care of the sun. So that said, you need to get that routine down and make sure as part of that routine, you have breaks in there. Otherwise, guys, some days you might be here at midnight on a Friday night, and you're just working and forget, oh, what day is it? Because you don't even keep track of what day is it, right? If you're just into it, and you can't really break that routine. At your company, if you stay there past 9 p.m., I'm sure somebody's gonna come ask you, why are you here hanging around, right? Some people do that to look as if they're working very hard, but at home, there's nobody to police you like that, right? And you're not gonna get any credits. So make sure you take a break. It's really, really important. Sometimes, especially in the spring and fall, and then even winter, believe it or not so much in summer. And I'll tell you why. I usually go out for a run after around noon, right? So that breaks my day. I get out, I go out for a run, and then I come back, I shower, and I continue. All right. So that really, it helps your body, it helps your back, it just helps a lot of things. Sitting on this, it looks comfortable, but sitting on this all days, guys, it's not what you want to be doing for the rest of your life. All right. So working from home, you really want to ensure that you make sure you take breaks. At the office, it's easier. I've worked at offices too. You can just literally, like, if you go into a meeting, you walk to the meeting room. For me, if I'm going to a meeting, guess what? I'm just calling in with Zoom or with Skype or with WebEx or something. All right. And so you're not having that, you have to force yourself to move, to take those breaks. And I cannot emphasize that more, right? You have to force yourself, whatever you do, force yourself to take those breaks. Now, number 3 is, the point there is, and I'm kind of looking at the reference in here, is make sure, don't stress yourself, right? At the end of the day, you're still working. So based on what is written here is go with the flow. Sometimes you feel like I'm just not engaged. I'm alone. I'm bored. I feel lonely. Those things might start cropping up in your mind, right? If you're kind of sitting in a 4-square room, you know, depending on how your setup is. I do have pictures on the wall and the window that kind of, I always make sure that I have it engaging environment. But at the end of the day, you have to do work, right? You have co-workers too that are going to be feeling the same thing that you're feeling. So you're not alone. And if you really feel like it's just not bearable, right? Sometimes you might go to a coffee shop if there's one nearby you and work from there. People do that. Or if you have a public library that allows it, sometimes they don't because you're doing, you know, corporate work and you're doing it at their premises. It might not be allowed. So check on your situation. You might go to a library to kind of break out that routine. All right, so maybe go to the coffee shop and work, you know, for a couple hours in the morning and then come back in the evening to finish from home. So depending on what it is, you can make it so it works for you. But know that other people are facing the same thing as you. So if you're feeling bored, guys, know that other people too might be feeling bored. So I always say being bored is just a matter of mindset, it's a matter of perspective. I might be wrong with that, all right? Because I never think I feel bored. If I'm bored, then I mean, like, I just keep myself engaged. I read a book. I do something. I don't just sit at home and just feel like, oh, I'm bored today, right? That doesn't really, to me, it's not really something that I struggle with because I just try to engage myself all the time, all right? I wish I had more hours in the day, right? I wish I had 40 hours in the day. I would take it, right? I have only 24. Why would I take a few of it and be feeling bored? To me, that doesn't work, all right? But it comes down to the perspective. Hopefully, this is a short period of time, and then this thing can be over and we can get back to the offices. You can get back to the office. But while it lasts, guys, know that a lot of other people are in the same position. They're working from home. They're new to this. They're panicking. They're confused. They don't know how to use VPN. They don't know how to use Zoom. They don't know how to video chat. Maybe they don't even have a video camera. Their audio is bad. And you have to figure out all those things, guys. But companies will forgive you because, I mean, you've never done this before. Just simply ask questions. Talk to your manager. Go buy a video camera if you have to. Do something. This video I'm recording from my phone. Literally, I'm not using anything fancy. It's from my phone. So the audio, the quality is not correct because I'm recording it from my phone. I didn't have time to do some fancy setups or editing or anything like that. All right. So make sure you go with the flow. Be easy on yourself. All right, guys. We know you've never done this before. I don't think any manager is going to fault you for not having a nice video camera for a video call. You know, when you've never done this before, I think people are going to be very forgiving, you know, as people get used to this. Now, I already talked about point number 4. So point number 1, which we talked about here, was, you know, making sure you create a routine, allow breaks, all right, go with the flow and be easy on yourself. So that's point number 3. Then point number 4 is make sure you get out of the house. And I kind of covered this a little bit with breaks, right? Whatever you do, get out of the house, right? Don't find yourself in a position where you wake up at 6 a.m. and you're in the house, you start working at 8 a.m. and you're in the house and you eat lunch and you're in the house and dinner and you're in the house, and then after that you go watch TV and you're in the house, and then you wake up on Tuesday and you repeat, and on Wednesday you repeat, Thursday you repeat, Friday you repeat, Saturday you repeat, Sunday you repeat. That's not what you want to do. And that's not what you want to do. I know as tech professionals, we might want to geek all day and just feel like, oh, this is great. I can be home all I want and I work from home. It doesn't mean that you're locked at home. So part of the reason why people are at home is because of the virus. So you definitely don't also want to be going out too much if you don't have to. But guys, create a routine that allows you to get out of the house. Like I said, for me, I go to the gym. I go for a run. I might go get coffee somewhere before I can start my day. I just go for a walk. I go, you know, just go to Barnes and Nobles and just find a book and just read a book or something. But whatever, every single day, I cannot spend, at least that's part of my strategy. I cannot spend, you know, 24 hours without opening the door and leaving, unless there's really something that holds me that really holds me that, you know, you gotta stay home for that. All right. So if you're new to working from home, this is a challenge that you might face. Make sure, guys, you give yourself an opportunity. If you don't have it, force that opportunity to leave the house. All right. my PC just went off. Force the opportunity to leave the house. You have to. You just have to. All right. You might feel like working from home is because you should stay at home all day, guys. If you're in your home for 5 days a week, 4 weeks a month, trust me, it's gonna get old really fast. So make sure you make some time to leave the house. And then point number 5, this brings us to point number 5, which is disconnect after work. All right, and this kind of goes into disconnecting after work or setting boundaries. I think this is what I would even call this, right? Set boundaries and be able to follow those boundaries. This is when your discipline will be tested to the ultimate core, right? You think you're pretty disciplined, right? I would hope you feel that about yourself. This is when that will be tested to the core. All right, this is when your manager will probably know who is disciplined and who is not. Because, and let me be careful about how I say this, because there's no one to chase after you. There's no one to stop you from just stopping here and just going to bed and sleeping. Nobody's gonna chase after you after that, after all, right? I hope they're not. But it's up to you to know what you need to do and be self-driven enough to get it done, even when there's all the distractions. The TV might be over there and you want to just go turn it on and watch Jerry Springer or Josh Judy or whatever it is you want to watch on TV. You have this person distracting you. Maybe they want you to give them a ride to this place and you feel like, all right, I can just leave and nobody's going to see me. All right. You feel like, oh, that meal, that cuisine, I've always thought about cooking. Let me go now and cook it. Nobody's after all going to see me. Or maybe I should just drink some beer and have a good time and wine. No, I'm working from home. Nobody's gonna see me. Guys, don't set boundaries. Set boundaries. For me, I'm very lucky that I think I have a discipline to the core. All right. So part of the reason why I mentioned earlier that I do dress up when I come into my office, usually it's because it's something. It kind of like almost switches my mind, and I know that I am working. The TV is not even gonna be on. I don't even have a TV, first of all. But if I do, I'm not gonna turn that TV on. All right, and when you're working on the browser, you might just want to go on Facebook and YouTube and all of those things. Guys, maybe do it a little bit, but make sure you get your work done. Make sure you get your work done. All right, be honest with yourself. The company is not there monitoring you, but they expect a certain amount of productivity from you, and you gotta give it to the companies, right? Otherwise, guys, I don't think it's gonna be very pretty. So set boundaries. If you're working from 9 to noon, and then you have your lunch. From 9 to noon, if somebody calls me and it's not really related to work, I might pick it up, but I'm not going to be taking company's time that I get paid for and doing something else, right? That's not congruent. That's not ethical. You just don't want to do that. This is a challenge. This is why this is the last piece. This is the biggest hurdle you would have to face working from home. But I think you all can do it. We all can do it. All right. It might take some getting used to, but you have to set razor discipline with your routines and being able to enforce them. Nobody's going to chase after you. All right. You're all professional. You are a professional. All right. Little kids might need to be taken care of and you have to keep an eye on them. I don't think anybody should be taking care of you and keeping an eye on you like a little child. All right. And this is when that will be tested. If you say, I'm working from this to this, keep your word and do it. All right. If it's time for lunch and you have to go somewhere else to get the lunch, go there and do the lunch. There will be those distractions, but you have to put your mind so focused to get over those distractions and stay productive. Stay productive. Now, sometimes I have to, maybe for one reason or another, work later at night, or I might have to not work in the morning, maybe do something else in the morning if I really have something pressing, and then work later into the evening. You might take advantage of certain flexibilities like that. Because for me, I'm not judged on how many hours I work necessarily. I get judged on how productive I am. Am I producing what I need to produce? Am I having my meetings the way I need to do? Am I informed? Am I getting the job done, basically? Whether it took me 20 hours to prepare for a meeting or 5 hours to prepare for a meeting, nobody cares, right? As long as the meeting went well, for the most part. So depending on what you do for your job, you have to understand what is expected for you and keep it. Make sure you keep it. Don't lower the standards just because you're working from home. It's very tempting for you to want to lower the standards, but make sure you understand what's expected from you and keep it. Keep it. Keep it. It's very, very challenging. Now, that's one of the little devices that I have, and I have this on my desk here. And I'm not doing a setup of my desk here. It's not, I don't think it's anything fancy, but it's It's a timer, right? This timer is it has I've made videos about this: 1 minute, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 0, 5, and such, right? So if I turn it and put it for 1 minute, watch what happens. All right, so this is going to alarm after 1 minute. So if and they call it the Pomodoro technique. If you've never heard about it, let me know in the comment section below, and I might talk a little bit more about it. So the Pomodoro technique is that the mind can focus on something for always so long. So if I'm working on a particular task, and I know this task is gonna take 15 minutes or 1 hour, and I know those are 4 intervals of 15 minutes, I set this for 15 minutes. That way, after that, it alarms and it kind of jogs my mind, and then I can, refocus myself. Sometimes, you might just get on your PC, and I'll make a video about working from home. Trust me, guys. If you want it, let me know in the comment section below, and I will do that. All right. So sometimes you might get on your PC and you hope that you're going to write that email. All right. Your goal is, my manager wants that email, I'm going to write it. And my co-workers want the email. There you go. It's alarm. All right. Because I set it for 1 minute. So normally when it alarms, I just turn it this way and it goes off. But it's not going to go off. Now, yeah, well, it went off now. So very, very important. Let me set this for 15 minutes. I don't think it's going to alarm before this video is over. All right. So you might get on your PC and your manager needs that report. Your co-worker, needs that report. And your goal is to, bear with me here. And your goal is to get on your computer and to work on that report. And then you get on your PC, and 45 minutes after, and you're looking at this Etsy amazing design on Etsy or on Pinterest, or this video on YouTube that's just so amazing you gotta watch. All right, or you're just reading this Wikipedia article that's so amazing, but it's so amazing, but yet it has nothing to do with your work. All right, is that what you plan on doing? No. And that's the situation you might find yourself in. And how you get out of that, guys, is to again set standards and set boundaries and be able to enforce them. For me, this thing is very helpful, because if I come in here in my office, usually in the morning, I give myself 30 minutes, 30, sometimes 15, but not more than 30, to read up on the news, to check articles, to just educate myself with what's going on around the world, right? Like, for example, coronavirus. I want to be aware what's going on with the stock market, what's in the news, who won the game last night, and all of those things. So I set that for 15 minutes, and I'm clicking around, I'm browsing around, and after 15 minutes it alarms. Boom, I know. All right, if I was getting distracted, I am now aware. Again, another 15 minutes, and I'm browsing around, and before I find myself too deep into that Wikipedia article or into that news on ESPN or some NBA game or something, the alarms again. All right, time to shut this down, and I can go now to my email. All right, and so this reminds me. But if you don't have that kind of reminder, you might just find yourself after 2 hours and you've been on an Etsy page and has gotten nothing done. That's not gonna be good. All right, so once I shut that down, I go over now to email. I give myself 15 minutes in the morning. I don't have a lot of emails typically, because I kind of clean them up during the day. So I'm looking at any new email, chat messages. We use Slack and Messenger and some of those things, and I'm just checking up on them and kind of knowing what is going on. So first, I have context around the world. Second, I have context around my job and my colleagues. Did anybody need help? Am I gonna help anybody? Was there anything in the email I needed to respond to? And then all of that. Once I have that, again, I start with my to-do list. I have a to-do list, and I could share all of those if you want me to share it. And I write my to-do list, what I need to get done for the day. Sometimes I carry it over and I keep track of what I didn't do yesterday and kind of merge it all into one document. But usually I have two. Every day I create a separate document for the to-do list for that day. What do I need to do? What do I plan to do? What do I want to accomplish? Who do I need to follow up with? What demos or what events or what things do I need to prepare for? I write them all down. So during the day, I'm always checking and saying, all right, today I had to send this email. Have I sent that email? All right. That way, there's no way I'm going to get through the day and forget that. All right. If I forgot something, then maybe I just did not have it on my to-do list. So again, that kind of keeps me on track. So guys, I can go into some of the systems of how I use it to stay productive. If you want me to, I can make a special video for it. But this is just supposed to be a general video for those of you that are coming or are going to be working from home for the very first time. A lot of companies are demanding this. Guys, don't panic. we're facing a very, very challenging situation like never before. I don't think anyone, at least in my personal opinion, has seen anything like this before, right? Every single day, it's really just it's scary. I'll tell you. But just make sure. I think we can all get through this. If you're working from home as a tech professional, guys, just to recap, create a routine. Make sure you have that routine down. Write it down if you're gonna be confused. All right. Allow time for breaks. Don't be too hard on yourself. Make sure you allow time for breaks. Go out for a walk. Do something. Break away from just working, right? Make sure you allow time for that. Be easy on yourself. That's number 3. Be easy on yourself. And then, you know, go with the flow. Don't take it too serious. But again, don't be too easy to yourself where you think that this is all fun and games, right? After all, you're working, you're a professional. So be easy with yourself. If you're bored, other people are bored too. If this is new to you, it's new to other people. So it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay, all right? Just make sure you learn, ask questions, talk to your manager, ask your peers, you know, talk to somebody if you really need, if you're struggling and you kind of have questions that you need to answer. I'm sure companies are preparing and providing help for people who need it. All right, so be easy on yourself, and then get out of the house. Make sure you have into your routines whatever you do to get out of the house. Sure, you're working from home, but it doesn't mean you're locked at home. Get out from the house, go for a walk, go to the park, go to a coffee shop and grab coffee again if you can, if your situation allows you to, given that we're dealing with a contagious disease. Do that, you know, based on, use your judgment, right, or your judgment from your doctor. And then last but not least, disconnect from work. So last but not least, disconnect. Set boundaries. Disconnect. When 5 o'clock has reached and you're done working, guys, make sure you actually stop working, right? Don't find yourself at 10 p.m. at night still working just because you're working from home and now you got a laptop and there's nobody stopping you from working. All right, guys, so there you have it. This video tended to be a little bit longer than I expected, but I hope this was helpful. I hope you found this very valuable. Guys, if this was helpful, make sure you like it, share it. Somebody might get value out of it. If you have any questions, any comments, any feedbacks, I have been working from home for years now, and I can certainly provide my little tips. My videos are not the most edited videos, but I hope it still provides value to you guys. All right, so guys, this has been Threw. Stay safe. Everybody, please do stay safe out there. Wishing you the best. And I'll see you in the next video.